and I hope he stands by his principles when the government comes to introducing a budget which will increase GST on food up to 15%. I hope he has the balls to stand beside his principles and vote against that budget. We have heard from Labor Party members, Mr Speaker, and we've heard from National Party members, we've heard from every member in this House, every party in this House, about why they won't support this bill, Mr Speaker. But I would like to offer a personal message to Sir Roger Douglas. There are a few of us in this House, Mr Speaker, whose ancestors have tread this path before. There's Todd McClay, whose father was Roger. There's Jonathan Young, of course, whose father was Ven Young. I myself, a little bit further removed, but I had an ancestor who was here for 38 years. And of course, there's Sir Roger Douglas, who was a minister in the same cabinet that his father was a minister. Now, I remember Sir Roger Douglas as the man who introduced, or the man who was behind the concept for compulsory superannuation. And I wonder what state our country would be in today if Sir Roger's vision around compulsory superannuation had been realised and Robert Muldoon, who hadn't illegally cut the scheme off, I wonder what it would look like today. And I think, Sir Roger, your vision around compulsory super would have created an economy far greater in size, scope, than we have today. So I take my hat off to you. But what I say is that at this point in time, Mr Speaker, Sir Roger, this is a game for a different generation. Your prestige that you once had is now gone. This is a different game now. What happened to the principles you once stood for that allowed you to stand for Labour and work for the rights of workers? And it was here that I heard the ACT Party stand up and oppose my colleague Darian Fenton's bill against compulsory redundancy. This was a bill that represented the rights of the workers that Sir Roger Douglas once stood for, stood proud for and fought for. And here we have a bill in front of us that would in fact remove the remaining tariffs that protected the industry still remaining in this country. This is the ideological thinking of a Sir Roger Douglas that is not connected to the Labour Party. This is a man who once espoused everything that the Labour Party stood for in his younger days in the Kirk government. Sir Roger, it's time to retire now. Hang up your gloves, put your boots away, remember the old times. I'll remember you for compulsory super because I think that was an awesome scheme. This is not the bill that you want to go out on. This is not the bill that's going to protect New Zealand workers and New Zealand industry. And this is not the bill that was put forward by a Labour minister from a party that has 94 years of proud legacy. This is not a bill from a man who comes from 3 generations of Labour Party members of Parliament. It is time for Sir Roger Douglas and the outdated philosophy now of the ACT Party to move forward. And when you get to a point where not only Labour, but the National Party, the Greens, Jim Anderton, Peter Dunn, everyone opposes this philosophy, it's a sad conclusion to a great Labour Party family. Labour supports free trade. Of course we support free trade. New Zealand's next Prime Minister, the Honourable Phil Goff, was the man who signed the free trade agreement with China. We are the champions of free trade. We believe in free trade. But this is not the bill to champion free trade. This is not the bill that will move New Zealand forward. In fact, it'll move New Zealand back. In fact, I'm not too sure why Jackie Dean is offering rebuttal, because she stood up, Mr Speaker, less than 5 minutes ago and supported the stance that I am now making. This is not a bill for New Zealanders. So all I can say to you, Sir Roger, is I'm sad and I'm ashamed that such a proud Labour family is bearing out on such a bill. I will not support this bill. I will never support